Hi, I'm Bonnie-Sue Hitchcock. I don't know if this is going to work, but I am from Fairbanks, Alaska, and I wrote, I want to talk about my new book that's coming out called Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town. I ran down here to the peat ponds near where I live, and I'm trying to beat the sun. It's only about 2 p.m. But this is one of the places where one of the stories in my new book is set, and I thought it would be really fun to actually come down and do the video from here. I'll try to do it farther out. This is a trial run. I had to run so fast to beat the sun that I don't really have a script, but I was born in Fairbanks, not too far from here. There were just about 3 snow machines and some dog teams in the background, and it might be too loud, but I have been working for the last 5-6 months as a contact tracer here in Alaska, listening to people tell me stories about COVID and how it's affected their lives, and it's really reinforced to me that everyone has a story, and my new book is basically that, how we are so connected to each other in ways that we don't even know. And my background as a public radio journalist and storyteller really has sort of, it's really been part of what this new book is. It's kind of a return to my old way of telling stories and trying to make, focusing on the ordinary aspects of life that we all have, but just realizing how extraordinary all of that is, really. So finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, I guess. And I'm really excited that many of the stories are not set in Alaska, which is a diversion for me, but they're all set in small towns. And yeah, that is it. I am going to read to you a little bit of the story that is set right here at the peat ponds. Okay, so the story that I'm going to read to you, or a section of it, is called Angry Starfish, and it takes place right here on the peat ponds. Gina is the main character, and she has offered to bring her dad's girlfriend's daughter to the peat ponds to skate. Her mother passed away, and Gina's having a really hard time with the fact that her dad is moving on. So this is a conversation she has with Poppy as they are getting ready to go ice skating, and Poppy's having a hard time getting her skates on. I'm going to start with this sentence. In a small town, you are forever defined by the worst thing that ever happened to you. And just like her mother dying, she didn't know how to stop it. Poppy has just told Gina that her cousin told her that Gina reminds her of a starfish. How am I like a starfish? That's ridiculous. She thought it might have something to do with the word star being misapplied, but Gina was surprised as Poppy plowed on, unaware that she might be treading dangerously close to the thin ice that was Gina's temper. Eliza says starfish are actually bad. Well, isn't Eliza just an expert on everything? No, I mean bad for the fishermen. Starfish eat the bait off their hooks. How is it that I'm eating anyone's bait? Gina had no idea where this was going, and it was too cold sitting in one spot. Poppy, we have to skate. We are going to freeze. Okay. Poppy wanted to hold her hand, and Gina knew it, but she skated off before that could happen, backward. She watched the younger girl struggle to get her stride in Gina's old skates, which were too big despite all those socks. The beaverskin hat kept slipping over Poppy's eyes, so every 2 seconds she had to push it up again. The girl was drowning in animal fur. What would Libby say if Gina brought Poppy back as a wriggling beaver and said she didn't know how it had happened? Maybe Libby would be furious and never come back to their house. Gina wouldn't mind if Libby stayed away, especially at night. She hated thinking of Libby in her mother's bed, changing the smell of the sheets and pillows. She didn't care what her father did with Libby. She just wanted him to do it somewhere else. She was starting to forget her mother. The sheets had always smelled like lavender and mint and wet dogs. Bits of dog hair clung to everything because the washing machine was full of dog hair, so even clean, all their laundry was furry. But once Libby had started staying over, the sheets smelled more like coffee and chocolate and some flower that Gina could not identify. Sometimes Gina sat in her mother's closet and breathed in her clothes, which was like sitting in a bog near ripe, low-bush cranberries, because her mom had spent so many hours picking that smashed berry juice permanently saturated her sweaters and the knees of her jeans. But that too was slowly fading. It had already been over a year. As long as there was a hint of moldy cranberry emanating from that closet, maybe her mom would never really be gone. Wait up, Gina! My hands are freezing, so I'm going to stop there. Yeah, so this was a little section out of Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town.